We'll just go, what is that, clockwise?
Mammy titties over here. All right. First question. Would you rather have the ability of flight, invisibility, or mind control? Why? And what would you do with these powers?
Ooh.
Nasty, I see. So, flight, invisibility, or mind control?
Well, whenever anyone asks me if I could have a superpower, I always say to fly because I've always said that as a kid. And just because I would like to escape whenever I want to. And I'm also a little bit of a creep, so to be invisible would be dope. I'll just watch people naked.
So you're flying and you're invisible.
Yeah.
So you pick
invisible.
no,
you have to pick flight and invisibility or...
Flight, invisibility, or mind control.
So like flight combo.
Oh, so three.
Yeah. No, so one of the three.
Flight.
As I would say, now that I'm a New Yorker, I would say flight because these trains are a hoe.
And you would save $117
You
a month.
would, and that's smart. I think that's a smart investment as a superpower to be able to fly because, like, in the morning.
Please, you guys is crazy. Mind control, because I'll tell the conductor to only stop when I stop. And I'll just tell people to forget about me, so therefore I'm invisible.
You could tell everyone, you make everyone move.
Tell everybody at TSA, let me on for free.
I just feel like it's process of elimination. I always think about, maybe this is because I'm just this nerdy, like with flight, you know, like birds have special bones that like allow them to fly. So like, yeah, what if you had the power to flight, but like your bones are just heavy as fuck. So like you really couldn't hear yourself.
So which one would you pick?
Mind control, for sure.
I would also pick mind control.
It's definitely the Countess power, like for sure.
Yeah.
Mind control.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
That's hard.
These cards are cute.
I know.
Ooh. How has your ethnicity or cultural background shaped your gender or sexual identity?
Oh.
That got real serious.
Like,
Queen.
How has your ethnicity or cultural background shaped your gender or sexual identity?
Ooh. So first, let's start. What are we? Because I am a Black Puerto Rican, Costa Rican. So.
My mom is from Panama and my dad is black from Brooklyn.
Black.
yeah, my dad's nigga as fuck. I'm just Creole.
And clapping. Yeah. White and black. Just all around American conflict.
I'm Dominican.
So do you think that like
Gender
each cultural
identity.
background has a different connotation, or do you think that we all, as people of color in America, suffer from the same type of oppression?
I guess so. Think about me. My nigger side. Talking about being a nigga, hiding all the gay shit. And I would say my Spanish side is really much. They are so intimate when you hang out with your Costa Rican, Puerto Rican side. It's like, oh, how you doing? We kiss each other on the lips and shit like that. And for a friend, it's like, is this okay?
Right.
Wait, am I? I'm a gay. Oh, okay.
Right.
So I have to be real careful and mixing too. Then I thought I'd just stop giving a fuck, and I was like, I'm a big old queer.
I feel like with Hispanic, like the culture is completely different. I identify as Afro-Dominican, but those Dominicans that are like, that grew up in, like I grew up in Spanish Harlem, it was nothing but like Black people and Puerto Rican people. So the culture of where I grew up was different. But my family, they are very intimate. They like, when I used to go to DR, like everyone's just naked. Like my uncle, I would literally see my uncle's dick. Like I wake up and he's just walking by naked. We hug each other, like it's very intimate. So, I mean, for me, I don't really think, like, it's kind of shaped, like, my sexuality or how I identify with my sexuality. And I also think that all Dominicans are a little bit bisexual.
Listen, that is my wish every day walking through the
I'm
house.
telling you, I feel like Dominicans and Brazilians are, like, just, they're all bisexual.
Yeah. I think, we were raised, like, pretty, like, black as fuck. Like, I mean, the Panamanian side was very, like, you go to your grandmother's house, there's food, there's empanadas, like it's there, but culturally we're very like Black American. Except for like maybe sometimes we were around like some of our Latino cousins, our Panamanian cousins, and like people from elsewhere in the Caribbean. Some of that pressure to be, I still get asked every now and then like, when are you getting a girlfriend and when are you wife and when are you gonna start having kids and all that stuff. But now that my parents don't care, and now that my sisters know, my nieces know, like I mean I'm pretty, I don't really have that fear of like familiar or like cultural like shaming or like really affecting how I live my life. So shout out to like not growing up in that super macho environment.
I feel like for me, I don't know, like I grew up kind of privileged. So like I'm the baby of my family, so like I came out when like I was like in 4th grade. Like it wasn't even like a coming out thing. Like I will never ever forget looking. My stepdad had gotten me a picture of Michael Jordan, like a poster of him or whatever, to put in my room because my room was Michael Jordan themed for whatever reason. Right. And I remember, yeah, exactly right. And I can remember having the biggest crush on him and telling my mom, like, Mom.
And then he came out with Hanes.
Listen, and I used to okay, that's a different story. But
Yes,
like, as far as like culture goes, like my stepdad's side of the family is just like black, just like average Alabama black, I guess. I don't know what that is. But like I never got that like push or like any like really depressing story about like trying to be anything. I have 4 older sisters, so like when I was like, I'm queer as fuck, they were like, bitch, yes God, let's get our lives.
I'm gonna go next because I like this card.
Because you want that card.
I do like this card. Do you talk to your doctor or healthcare provider honestly about your sex life and overall wellness? Why or why not?
Yes.
Yes. No. I think I do. For sure.
I do.
Kind of.
For sure.
I
I don't think I always did. Like at first, like 18-year-old Carlton definitely was like, girl, I'm not fucking, I don't know what you talking about. Like, bitch, like,
Right.
But I think now that I know more, I'm definitely like, girl, yes, like this is what I did. Like, this is X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z. And girl, I got a tickle in my throat right now. Like, and like, what's going on with me? You know, like I think.
Same.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it started with my doctor had. But I also like one thing that is kind of lucky to us as gay or MSM, men who sleep with men. I hate that term, but sometimes it's useful.
Reminds me of Craigslist.
Yes, very much so. That sometimes we get to have other doctors for gay stuff in addition to our personal care provider. Because I have like New York Presbyterian and they do specifically gay stuff. Here's PrEP, here's anything type of pills you need and stuff like
That's
that.
because a lot of doctors are still very much bigoted
Right.
and retarded. Like I've had a lot of doctors just freeze up and not know what to say. I'm like, this. I was actually diagnosed positive because I told a doctor or like a nurse that I was on PrEP, and then they put down that I had HIV. And for months they were treating me for HIV, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what is going on? Why'd you just like change? Why am I on 2 pills now? Like, they just sent the prescription to the pharmacy, and I went to go, and I was like, what? So I called my doctor, and they were like, we're gonna double check that. So I was like sitting there, waiting for them to figure out what the fuck was going on with me. So yeah, you have to be honest with doctors because they don't know what they're doing at the end of the day.
That's true.
I tell these people everything. I finally have a black male doctor, and so I also have lupus, and I got diagnosed with lupus because there's no one test for lupus, but like I got diagnosed, well I got tested. I never got notified that I had lupus, and then I got like super fucking sick and went in a coma and almost died and all this stuff. So now I'm very like, you gonna know everything that's going on with me. I'm gonna know, like, you just need to know everything. None of that, like, I'm hiding things. So both my doctor, I have a black male doctor, and I have and my therapist. I tell those motherfuckers everything, all the gay shit, like all the dick sucking, like everything. Like, you know, you're gonna know everything. Just because it's important, you just have to know, even if it makes you uncomfortable. I have a white therapist.
Sounds bad.
So disappointed.
Listen, that stressed me out for you.
The way you said that.
She's actually lovely though. She's probably the closest white woman, the white woman I'm most intimate with. And even for her, you just have to tell them everything. I just feel like just because it's all impacts like what you're dealing with. So you know, with her, you know, it's not sexual, but like racial stuff, microaggressions, you just gotta let them know like everything.
At the moment I don't have any doctors or anything, but I'm slacking in life. But when I did have doctors, I was very honest. But that's just how I am in general. Like, I'm a pretty open, honest person, and I always think that way. Like, if I'm not being honest with my world, I'm not being honest with myself. Like, you know, it's a huge disservice. But and when it comes to therapy, growing up in foster care, you were always assigned a counselor, a therapist. But as an adult, I haven't like had a therapist in years since I was a kid. But I'm not into the whole like like the whole normal standard, like original standard of therapy. I like holistic therapy, which I think is completely it's a different approach.
Which is working its way into therapy and like the medical field, like holistic healing,
because
or
it's not just
treating everything as like a contributing factor to why you have back pain. Not just that you lift something too heavy, but you might actually like still be dealing with like psychological trauma from when you were a kid.
Right.
Thank you. Let's see. Okay, so this one is kind of on the lines of where we left off, but how do you practice self-care?
Oh man.
Oh, I'm terrible at this.
I think for me, I'm like a workhorse. Like, I don't stop, and I'm a creative too, so like I think anybody that's creative, like we're always doing something within our discipline. And for me, it's taking the time out to focus on things I normally don't focus on. So like I've been playing piano since I was like 5, and one thing that I do is I dedicate time just to playing. I don't think about anything. I'm not specifically learning anything, but I wake up and I go to my keyboard and I play.
I started being a lot more aware of the things that I do when I'm getting myself into like a better mood or the better care, and I realized it's the simple things of literally like taking the time to either play a video game or do something real nerdy with cards, Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering. Just making a deck in itself is something, a puzzle. Not even to play other people, just to make it. And I started realizing, those are my self-care things that I do to myself.
Yeah, I think it's like a level of taking care of like being accountable for the amount of time you're giving yourself versus you giving yourself to other people, which I think for a long time I thought was a form of self-care.
Right.
Yeah.
Like making sure people around me were okay, and therefore then I could be okay. But I think it's also it really is, it's just more simple than that. It's just saying like, okay, I'm gonna take 20, 30 minutes, an hour a day just to do what I need to do so that I can continue to be this person.
It's such a job. Like, I really have to be so deliberate about it. Like, I put everything else before me. I'm, building a company and, doing a podcast and writing and trying to do all these things and be everything to everyone. And it's really hard to, like, give myself permission to take care of myself and not feel bad about it. I think that's the other part. It's the not feeling bad about it.
Because you feel bad about it,
Yeah,
it's not doing
it defeats the purpose.
good.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of it.
Really, like,
It becomes
it's
stressful.
you're hurting yourself because you really can't, like, especially if we're creatives, especially if you work in the public, if you are interacting with whether it be customers or the community or clients or whoever it is daily, like, if you're not taking care of yourself, which I haven't been, just like the weight, just the madness of trying to help the next person and affect change and like do things for other people when you are like running on E, running down in the gutter, all beat down and raggedy, like it's you're really doing yourself a disservice.
You have to know the difference between like even like the term like giving people their lives. Like I hate when like I go to the club and I'm literally just like existing in the space
Because they need the Instagram.
Exactly, and that's what I love about it up here, because I'm just like another one of the girls. The girl's not studying me up here, but like I go out back home and it's yes, honey, bitch, what? And I'm just like, I'm literally standing here. I can't dance that great. I'm pretty stiff, so. And I think that you have to, but like seriously, you have to take the time to be able to go, okay, bitch, are you just here to like you said, take from me? Like, I'm giving you life, but you're not giving me anything in return. And I think the world does that to us constantly.
And then I think about it, just the word giving life.
Literally draining it like vampires. And that's why I'm really wary of non-queer people. Like, I really am. Like, non-black people and non-queer people. Like, I'm just like, I don't know, like, girl,
You gotta prove yourself.
Exactly, because we can just sit here and exist and I don't feel like I'm having to perform. And I think that comes with being a creative too. Like, we're all used to people, do X, Y, and Z artistic thing for me. What do you think about X, Y, and Z? Like, bitch, I'm not here to talk about that.
I just wanna be here.
Right.
What does the future of HIV look like to you?
Oh my goodness.
This is really controversial to say, but I hope, I pray that it doesn't exist. That's what it looks like to me.
Facts.
That it's not going to be a thing.
Well.
That we'll hopefully recover from the 80s.
I definitely think that it's a slow progression, but we're progressing.
I mean, literally in the last 5 years, it's shifted.
Yeah.
I think that shift has been definitely within our community, like very much less so outside of that, I think.
I feel the same way. I completely feel the same way. And I think that having prep is almost like having that hope, you know? But
And that's where this comes from, is that level of hope that has never existed.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's real.
Like back then they would just, that's it, you were dead. Like you were just gonna wait for you to die.
But it's also like condoms, you know, like you get to a point where like even that, like it becomes a level of trust within your community.
Yeah.
Like within your network of people that you're sleeping with. Like it takes one person to fuck up.
Yeah.
And then the whole community, the whole circle of people that you were with are now at risk.
Because
Whereas like the majority of people who are infected with HIV and AIDS cannot afford it. And it's not just in the gay community, but it's in like the whole African diaspora. It's all in these disenfranchised countries that can't afford to have clean medical supplies. You know, they're constantly being infected just because they're trying to get over another illness that they had and they have to share needles. Like,
real.
there's so many other levels to HIV
Yeah.
outside of the gay community that I think that we have to also help to pioneer, to push awareness, to focus on finding a cure and finding a way to give everybody access to medications that will help extend their quality of life.
Yes.
Yes, another card. Let's move on.
You said something lighter, right?
Right, okay. We'll just smile through it. We'll smile through it.
Does size matter?
This is lighter.
This is like,
So much lighter.
No, it fucking doesn't.
Unless it's not.
Does size matter?
okay,
The size of what? The size of what?
Yeah, that's layered. That's why.
It does size matter.
Because the first thing that
What?
popped in my head was D.
Right.
Oh, is there more to the question? Or is it
No,
just
literally
that?
just size matter.
Well, see, I am a size queen into the fact where I can't handle anything that's too big. So, girl, if you drop, I'm just saying, like for real, like, girl, that 12-inch whatever is cute in the video. It's very
In the
cute.
video,
Yes.
No, I agree. 13, 11, no.
You're here for that?
Listen, I just
He said
turned
no.
30.
Oh.
No.
He said
No.
No.
no means
No,
no.
thank you.
Right.
But it's crazy because it's a lot of, I know a lot of people and they're just like, no, it has to be this big. I'm like, bitch, where's that going? Like,
It's
are
going.
you in pain? And when I watch porn, actually turns me off when I feel like they're like in pain and they're actually screaming for dear life. Like,
That's rape.
it's like, that's not
I
motivating.
agree.
There's a
I'm
lot of
not-
very rapey people.
I'm not a fan of when it doesn't look enjoyable for all parties.
Right, I'm just like, that looks insane. Like, it looks cute, like to just like, oh, slap it on my face and let me like kiss it. But that's not going inside
Soul
me.
sisters.
No.
Cut that one out.
Like,
Yeah.
let's just play with each other's holes. Let's just jerk it off. That's it. Just from my experience, I feel like everything is always sexually driven and physical. It's like that's.
I think it's because we're people of color.
That also.
Because white men will definitely hide behind like not exposing their genitals at all. They like don't talk about my stuff,
That's
don't touch
true.
my stuff. Like,
That's true.
Don't
Actually,
ever talk about it because I'm in a suit and that's what you need to respect.
Right, it becomes about their
Actually,
persona. more.
Wow.
You did that.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
was
what it is.
that was.
Yes. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, that just shook me.
That's
too.
No, yeah, I'm just like, let me sit with that for a second.
Right.
No, yeah, that was
really
that's a good point.
facts. Yeah. And let's be real. The bigger it is, the more you're prone to like bring something back out. Like, I don't want to shit on listen, that's the first thing I think about. Is just like, first of all, the bigger you are, the more I gotta make sure I'm super good. Like, and
Yeah, I can't eat
don't.
You got a fast taste of this thing? No, I'm good. I really like, 3
Yeah,
meals
I
a day.
just-
Like,
I like food too much. I don't got time for that.
Right, like,
I love food.
being
The
a
fact that we
bottom
don't have to eat,
takes
we
a
can't eat that
lot.
day.
Being a bottom takes a lot of work, and that's why
I'm going in for a colonoscopy. Fuck that.
I'm not. It's for real.
No,
it takes a lot of work to
I'm
bottom.
just gonna drink my water. It
like,
really does.
It takes a lot of work, and I feel, and I used to joke around with my friends all the time. I'm like a bottom. I love dick. I consider myself like an
A bottom's
open-minded
bottom.
bottom because I'm not fully versatile, but I give versatile teas. If you get that a little bit. But I joke with my friends all the time, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm gonna be a top in 5 years, the next 5 years, because bottoming is so much work.
So much.
And the bigger.
Do you think it's a lot of work, or do you think it's really just the expectations that are placed on?
Both.
Come on.
Here you go, be a super.
I'm here for that.
Take it to the next level. It's like a lot. It's a lot.
No,
So much. Especially when you're dealing with other like cultures I don't say races, but I'll just say other culture, other demographics,
Oh,
and the
that's
expectations they have.
Never
for you.
felt that. Never.
Yeah.
Bad experience.
I think it's a bit of both.
Right.
I definitely, because let me tell you something, because I've dated all different kinds of guys, and it's always with the black men that they project all this shit onto me, and I gotta like, they have the highest standards, and I'm like, and then when I'm dating a Hispanic guy, or I've never really dated a white guy, but I've been with a white guy before, it's not the same thing. It's more relaxed, and like, it's just relaxed and like easygoing and just flowing, like whatever. Black guys are always just having all these expectations, and then like putting all these like high expectations on me, and I'm like, oh my god, can we just like, let's just be like.
Since we're talking about it, like top and bottom culture, like I think that's something that I used to really prescribe to. Like when I was a young, spry young thing, like I was the bottom in my head, you know, like, bitch, I was that twink. But I think,
Do black twinks exist?
oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
No, I think
Talk about it. Do they?
right.
I don't think so.
No,
I think
it's
it's just
definitely
black.
it's definitely white connotated for
Yes,
sure. For sure.
So we've appropriated that term.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the first time and the only time that's gonna happen. We can't appropriate a lot.
That
I'm weak.
pisses me off, that whole top bottom thing. Like, yeah, when I was younger, like I was so adventurous, and because I was the little Latino guy, thick, he's short, oh, he's definitely a bottom. So for a long time I felt like I was like, all right, bitch, ain't nobody's power bottom, but I'm a bottom, and I'm cute about it.
You think that's a
And
force?
now, I'm just like, when the guy approaches me with that whole like top thing, like
It's such a turn
pretty
on.
me, and I'm just like, oh,
Because
no,
you're
I'm just
emotionally like
you're not for me.
flat. Like you're just you're
Yeah,
not
like
gonna be
it's
able
just
to connect.
yeah, exactly. Like but like I'm quick to bump pocketbooks with anybody. Like,
A mood.
you know, like, I'll be real quick to bump pocketbooks. Like, and you know, like it's about energy to me, and I feel like the moment you come up with that conversation about like top, bottom, femme, mask, that's it. I'm sorry, I'm throwing up. I don't.
You
want this
haven't fully
conversation anymore.
conceived who you are then, if you're having these questions.
That's how I feel.
You know, yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.